Hello, YouTube. Just wanted to do a quick update for you guys on what's going on with my eyes. I'm leaving the VA hospital or clinic right now. Eye doctor checked me out, okay? And the good news is he doesn't see any tearing. Doesn't really see anything. So my eyes look the same as they did before. Although he wants to do a follow-up in about 3 weeks or so, just to double check. They're gonna dilate everything and look inside again, get a really good look, along the edges, and see if there's any tearing or anything like that. Because if it's happening, they need to try to get to it right away to save my eyesight, because otherwise I could end up going blind. But essentially what happened was this. The other day, if you recall, I went out to the beach and caught some of those sand fleas, to eat, to cook up. And even though I cooked them up and had them in the Thai fried, sand flea fried rice that I made up, and they tasted okay, there was an issue with it, which didn't get on the video because it was an issue that came up later. And what that issue was that the sand fleas had this funky taste, aftertaste. If you don't normally drink like Diet Coke and you drink Diet Coke and it has that aftertaste, you know what I'm talking about. Well, it stays with you, unlike the soda, which goes away after a couple hours. The sand flea aftertaste stays with you like a very long time, like at least 1 day, if not more. I think I still taste it. But what happened was I ate the fried rice and then thought everything was fine. But hours later, I still had the smell of the sand fleas. They had this funky, stinky smell and this weird aftertaste that would not leave my mouth. So I grabbed what I had in the vehicle, which was like a bunch of soda, specifically Mountain Dew and Pepsi, mostly Mountain Dew. I think I drank like 3 or 4 cans of Mountain Dew. And then I ate a banana. And then I ate like 2 or 3 bags of potato chips. I ate some Tostito type chips with the salsa, all in an effort to get rid of that funky sand flea taste that was still in my mouth, which I think I still taste. So all those foods that I ate were super, super salty, which I think raised my blood pressure like crazy. And I had, I don't know if I forgot to take my medicine, my blood pressure medicine the other day. Well, nothing really happened that night after eating the sand fleas. And the next day when I woke up, Chill named Ace and I decided to meet up to go eat at a Chinese restaurant. And, it was a buffet. So I kind of pigged out on the Chinese food to try to get rid of the sand flea taste, which I still had in my mouth. So I was eating all this food, which is, I guess, very salty. And I had not taken my blood pressure medication. So actually the flashes with the eyes started before I even went to the restaurant. Yeah, what I first noticed was like that afternoon while I was sitting around looking around when I turned my head, but I didn't notice that it was when I turned my head, I would see this light like on the side of my eye, my right eye right here. It was like almost like a lightning bolt, but it was curved. It was like a round curve of light. It looked like a flash, but it was curved. And I thought it was glare from my glasses. The edge of the glasses have this piece of glass that's cut, and I thought light was hitting it somehow from a car driving by or just street light or something was hitting it, causing me to see the light, so I ignored it. So anyhow, I went out to eat with Chill named Ace, and we ate a bunch of Chinese food, and everything was normal and good. And then I went to, throughout the whole day while I was with him eating, I noticed the light, but I ignored it. And I just thought it was just weird that, suddenly my glasses are now picking up lights at weird angles and shining it right at the corner of my eye. So everything was cool until I went to park for the evening. We finished eating and it was late. It was like about 7:30 in the evening. And I pulled over to park. And the light was just becoming more and more pronounced. I was seeing it a lot. I was like, dang, there's like a bunch of people shining their lights at this weird angle. Something's weird with my glasses. So I looked around and I tilt my head, and I would notice the flash when I tilt my head. And I was like, wow, it's picking up light, you know? And then I tried shaking my head, and then the flashes became more pronounced. So when I shook my head up and down, it didn't really do anything. But when I shook it from side to side, I would start seeing the flashes more. So I was like, huh, that's really weird. Then I decided on a whim to take off my glasses. So I took off my glasses and shook my head, and the flashes were still there. Yeah. So at that point I was like, oh man, it's not the glasses, it's my eyes. So I decided to call the VA hospital or the VA clinic, and they were closed, but the on-call nurse took my call, and then I described the symptoms to the nurse, and the nurse told me to go ahead and head out to Orlando because the VA clinic here was closed. So they had me drive from Brevard all the way out to Orlando, which was like an hour and a half drive. So I drove over there and went into the ER, and that's where I did the live broadcast, because if it was a tear, they would have to do surgery, like emergency surgery, to try to fix it before it got worse. So that's what happened with that. But while I was sitting there, you know, they took my blood pressure, and it was like higher than it'd ever been in a while, which was like, I don't know if it was 154, 156 over 92 and 94, something like that, in that range. So I think that was attributed directly to all the salt that was in my system. I had taken so much salt from the day before, and also from the Chinese food, and that may have had an impact on the flashes. But the doctor that was there, the ER doctor, came over, and you know, they checked my eyes to see if I could see. They looked to see. They didn't really look, but she looked and you know, didn't see anything wrong with it, and said that she didn't think it was a tear or anything like that. So they were going to send me back to Brevard County again to go to the clinic this morning, which I just went to. So I went to see the doctor. You know, just walked in and let them know that, you know, the ER doctor sent me. So they went ahead and dilated my eyes and did the whole checkup with the, you know, the light and everything, and checked all the corners and the edges of the eyes and everything to look for any tears. And he didn't really see any. Now, I did see an increased number of floaters. I don't know if you guys know what floaters are. Floaters are those little clear, transparent things that you see that seem to float across the sky. But they're actually not outside. They're actually inside your eyeball. Yeah. So floaters are like particles that are inside your eye, and you can see them as they cross over the retina. But I had noticed that there was a little bit more of an increase this morning of those things. So I pointed that out to him. But, you know, I had had floaters before, so they weren't anything unusual. But him looking inside the eye, he didn't, you know, he looked all around the edges of both eyes. And he didn't really see anything that looked like a tear or a rip. So, you know, he said I did the right thing going in and having it checked out, because when this kind of stuff happens, he says 99% of the time it's nothing and will go away. But, you know, it's that one time when there is an issue that you want to have it resolved. You know, in case if it is an issue, you need to have the surgery right away, otherwise you could go blind. So that's what ended up happening. And he's booked me now for another 3 weeks for an emergency checkup again. They're going to dilate my eyes, run through the whole exam, and check it out and see if that is an issue, you know, if it's tearing or not. And if they do, they're going to have to send me back to Orlando to get eye surgery. So right now, I'm feeling very good that it seems like it was nothing, although, you know, the flashes were real. So something caused the flashing. I'm hoping that it was just blood pressure, but the eye doctor doesn't think it was a blood pressure issue, because it occurs when I tilt my head like this. I'll see the flash right here. But like right now I'm doing it and I don't see the flash. So, now I'm dizzy though. It has stopped, so that is what's going on. I do appreciate all of you who were thinking of me and praying for me. I do believe it made a difference. I know I was totally freaking out last night on my drive to Orlando in the dark, because the flashes kept going off. I mean, it was like, almost like it would intersperse. It would come and then it would go, and it would start and it would stop. And it felt like there was lightning hitting. And then at one point, it felt like someone took a flash camera, you know, with the bright silver or white flash just shining right into my eye on and off, like a strobe type effect. It was like going psh, 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 and I couldn't see anything but the light. So as of today, as of this morning, the next day, I appear to be doing okay. I am going to try to avoid salt, at least too much of it, and going to take it easy. As for the sand fleas, I may try it again, but I don't know. It had a really strong aftertaste. I may try it cooking the whole sand flea because there wasn't that much meat to eat. And then, batter frying it like you would popcorn shrimp or something. So I may still try it again because supposedly they're edible, and the eye doctor says they shouldn't have caused a problem for me. Although I started thinking about it, I was like, they eat like plankton and stuff, and this area has plankton that glows in the dark. If you've ever seen the luminescent planktons and stuff, they may eat that, and I wonder if that may have anything to do with it, but I don't know. I'm just glad they didn't find any tearing, and everything seems to be good, so thank you all for your kind thoughts and prayers. I do appreciate it. In the meantime, I am thinking of each and every one of you. Those of you up north, I do feel for you because I know how cold it probably is because, it's not that cold here. It's starting to warm up again. It's in the 70s and 80s. But I know the other day it was just starting to get cold when I was trying to catch the sand fleas. So I really feel for you guys. Take care, everybody. God bless you all, and thank you again for your kind thoughts and prayers.